Could you hand me a glass of water as well?
Hello, everybody. We're live from NGNL, and this is going to be a bit special because we have a lot of guests. Yeah, and also this is the most unprepared talk that we ever did, so we'll see how it goes. Let's the guests introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Tero Parviainen, a programmer and a writer and Angular person from Helsinki.
Hi, I'm Leonardo Zizzamia, and I just do front-end stuff in San Francisco for my the company I'm working now named Plan. And who's next?
I'm Joshua, a developer as well, contributor to some open source stuff, maintainer of Mocha, and one of the co-organizers for NGNL. So I'm super psyched to see you all here.
Hi, my name is Thomas. I'm part of the Angular Material team, the Angular Material 1, and I'm also super excited to be here. It's awesome.
I'm Rob Wormald. I'm a member of the Angular 2 core team, and I'm super excited but also super nervous because I'm going on stage to give a keynote in like 50 minutes. So, yeah.
Yeah, cool. So, let me get set up. Okay, so NGNL is a conference at Amsterdam, and Carmen is coming with food, which is awesome. So, come. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
This is freestyle.
Couscous time.
With or without chicken?
Sorry, guys.
Thank you.
Carmen, come say hi. Yeah, after. Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, sorry guys. The thing is like it's lunchtime, and some of us didn't eat, some people eat. I'm actually didn't eat, and so we have some couscous right now. I hope that I don't know in which time zone you are right now, but I hope that you eat or you are eating something good, or I don't know.
So yeah, Tero. Thank you. Tero, talk about your talk that you did this morning. How was it?
Sure. So yeah, I did a talk on NG Upgrade this morning, which is the sort of official module they have for upgrading your applications from Angular 1 to Angular 2. And I think it went pretty well. It was kind of a surreal experience when you can't actually hear your own voice because everyone is having these earphones.
You should explain that concept.
Right. Yeah. So it's like basically a silent disco thing where there's a lot less dancing than in most of the discos I've seen, though. But the sound isn't like projected in the room. You have these. Everyone in the audience has these earphones, and it has the interesting effect that I can't actually know whether they hear me or not. But when they nod in approval, I think that's usually when they're not listening to me. But anyway, it was an interesting experience, and I got to tease Igor a bit about the Tombstone talk he did in 2014, which was the kind of source of much controversy in the Angular community. But I also got to talk about how they since then made everything better by adding NG Upgrade and letting us do that upgrade for our applications, which is what I'm now doing and talking about.
You got to admit the Tombstone thing was really funny.
It was pretty funny. I was actually,
sounds? Oh, that's
yeah. And in that conference, I loved that talk. It was great because
it was great.
You're going to remove all that craft which no one likes, but then it became this thing that we're going to break my application, and that's how it played out on the internet, unfortunately. But I think we're finally getting around to getting over that whole thing, because now we know how easy it's going to be. Well, it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be possible at least.
But I think the reactions from the community also help. I think the reactions from the community also help them redefine and improve, for example, NG Upgrade and their requirements for what they needed to solve. So it was good. It was
overall, yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good thing. Sometimes through a little fear, it makes it a better thing.
Thank you. So yeah, I did my talk just after Tero, so the room was packed. People didn't leave. Yeah, that was nice. Thank you, Tero. Because people after me, they were facing Pascal, and their room wasn't really packed. But Pascal's was. Yeah.
Pascal's was
Yeah. He might show up eventually. No, he's not. Okay. So yeah, I did some live coding.
Oh yeah. How did it go?
It did well. It was the first time that I live coded, and it was a thing that I always told myself that I would never do.
What I'm going to do is live code the whole talk. So that'll be really good. Thanks for that.
Yeah, actually, I find it easier to live code because you're focused on your code, unless something goes wrong and then you just panic. But
The problem when you speak, you do live coding is you don't know if you can like go home, prepare by yourself, like typing and speaking and be kind of like an idiot because you do this over and over and over. After you get in the location and you say, oh, damn, I really hope they have a mic, like something. And I was once on this like Python talk with like, it was very fast, it was 5 minutes lightning talk in front of 200 people, and they have just a mic, a normal mic. So me was like trying to type as fast as I can with one hand.
So you need one person like this to hold it for you.
And
Same thing. One hand trying to do live code.
Did we not keep up with
No, I
an
forgot,
earpiece?
I forgot to ask.
I'm so sorry.
And then I kept putting the mic down and it would go thump. And then roll, and you roll across the stage, you know. That's okay.
You need like a side pocket, and then you put the microphone in there.
And then when it happens, though, then you hear this thump, 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 thump.
See, this is why I record my live coding. So
yeah, you were very smart because at one point I see that you were talking and it was going by me.
I should do like this wizard like noises when I'm doing that because I look no hands. But yeah, I cannot live code. I can't talk and type at the same time. It's just impossible for me for some reason, so I don't try.
So I have a question about that because I've been recently like recording some terminal sessions of mine. How many times do you does it take you to? How many dry runs do you have? Yeah.
It takes a few, but it's less than you would think because I tolerate mistakes. And I think that it even makes it look more realistic or more like familiar to people when you do typos and you use backspace, and it like looks more live than it would unless you just do the perfect thing. And I don't mind them at all, and I don't think they take anything away from it, and that's why I don't have to kind of get it absolutely right when I do it.
Do you splice it or do you do it all at once?
I splice it to a few seconds at a time, so if I talk more slowly than I expect that I can kind of.
And I'm kind of the opposite, right? If I know that I can like stop it and start it again, then I'll do that 100 times. And I think that like having to do it live is probably better for me, right? Like I know I have to do this. I'm going to commit to it and just do it. And I find that probably way easier than doing because I've been trying to do trying to do an egghead video for like 6 months, right? And I've probably done 400
Which
takes.
is a very difficult thing.
It's way harder than I thought it was going to be, right?
Like
I can do it all day long.
Like a 3-minute thing takes 10 hours. Yeah.
So
Want it to
hard.
be perfect, or why is it?
Yeah, it's I know I can screw it. So maybe I'm not so committed, or maybe I don't feel like I don't know. But
No,
it's,
I think it's more than that, though. Egghead has sort of set a standard for the quality of their videos.
Yeah.
And it's really smooth, really nice.
Yeah.
But most people don't realize it's a lot of work to do the videos. But it's so cool when it's done.
I'll let you know how
You'll do really well,
When I
I'm
finish
sure.
one, I'll let you know how that feels.
So are you
I wanna
announcing
watch.
announcing a course right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, really?
How many
Do tell.
lessons?
Yeah. So when I'm done with that, then we'll announce that, but not quite yet.
Oh, can I put a plug in for?
You should.
So yeah.
Of
So we
course,
just
please go.
released the Introduction to Angular Material, and myself and Aaron Frost did that. And Aaron reached out to me around Christmas time and goes, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing some videos for Angular Material." And I had been thinking the same thing for a month or two, and I totally kept putting it on the back burner, like procrastinating. And then when Aaron reached out, I was like, "Well, let's do it together," and it worked out really well. He's just awesome, and the videos are out there. There's just 7 of them, but it was a lot of work, but I'm so glad it's done.
Maybe I need a partner. It's a good idea.
It's a really, honestly, it was great. So I did, for example, I did a lot of the course material, and then we together worked on the script or the outline, and then he did the narration.
Right.
And then while he was doing that, then I would take notes, and so having a partner makes it so much easier and fun.
Well, if you have a good partner.
And hard
It's funny you mentioned. It's funny you mentioned Aaron because we actually reached out to him to help us select the talks for the tracks here.
Oh, is that right?
We were flooded with proposals, tons and tons of them.
You guys picked some great ones.
Well, that's thanks to Aaron. Definitely.
Well, just before I came here, I asked Aaron, I said, why are you, I said, you should come out with us. And he goes, he's really busy at work, right?
Yeah.
And he wanted to be out here, but I said, just come out. You can stay in my hotel room. Come on
We
out.
were saying the same thing. We'll fly you over. Come here.
Well, I did say, do you snore? You know, but he's in your store. You're not staying in my hotel room.
He probably does.
I don't know.
Fair point.
Yeah, but it's busy with the ngconf.
And Domo, the work at Domo.
Yeah,
So he's
but
just really busy. Yeah,
but this week they just finished the
that's true.
call for paper on.
Yeah, because it was for Valentine's Day.
He said it was like 10 hours to review and decide.
Well, if you have 220 something, if you spend 5 minutes on each one, it's already a lot of time.
But they did a marathon. They didn't stop. He said
Probably haven't read half of it.
Yeah. Well, and so who's talking this afternoon? You are?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna speak at 4:30, probably the last one before the closing session with
I
Todd.
had 4 beers before you talk.
I'm gonna start drinking as soon as I'm done.
Actually, if you're going to talk, I need to drink.
Yeah, so I actually strongly suggest, please guys come like with
It's
beers.
Amsterdam, you guys.
You're supposed to
You're
drink.
doing the wrong thing. It's not beers.
We still get really stoned.
So yeah, I'm gonna speak at 4:30. I'm pretty excited about it also because doesn't seems like well, actually I'm shy. So like
Sorry.
No, he's lying.
I used to be shy a lot. So I freak out when I have to speak in front of more than 15 people. Like I remember my first time I was speaking in ngconf, there were like 800 people live, plus I don't know how many people live streaming. If you see the video online on YouTube, you will see that I say, I go on stage, I was super freaked out. And the first 5 words is like, hello, my name is Leonardo Tizavia. And I noticed that I was moving my hand every word. And I saw it kind of like with the left one, I stop it. I was like, after I keep talking. So it's kind of like always it's exciting when you have to like push your limits to give a talk and try to be better because the hardest part is not to learn something. The hardest part is explain that thing in a simple way. Because if you go on a stage and you just talk, you just show that you know the things, I mean, it's not really useful. What is nice instead, you go on stage, you try to decompose the concept in a simple word, in simple metaphor, in a way that everyone can understand. Because the main part of a conference is going there, go back home, and you still remember something. Some people say that if I ask you what you remember for the TG, so the newspaper of yesterday, you probably don't remember almost nothing. Because we get so many information every day that no one actually stick in our head. If you stick them, as a speaker, I have to repeat constantly the same concept. So I actually strongly suggest every speaker, you speak about an argument, but ask yourself what are the 2-3 line, sentence, or words that you want someone to remember the day after.
We call those the takeaways.
Takeaways?
The takeaways. What are you going to take away from the talk to remember? And it's usually you want 3 to 5, but no more than 5, because they won't do it, right?
If somebody takes away you didn't screw up live coding from my talk, then that'll be enough for me. That'll be enough for me.
But can I come and watch?
Yes. And I think I'm the opposite of you. I think if like 15 people is way scarier than 500 people, right? Because 15 people, I make eye contact with those people, right?
I totally agree.
500 people,
totally
it's just
agree.
a big blur. I don't have to think about it, right?
500.
And I'll never remember those people, and I'll never.
And the 15 people are those serious ones,
Yeah,
so they're
and
watching you, right?
You're like, does that guy understand? Does that guy get it? Right?
This time is going to be harder because there is a strong light to the entire audience. Instead on ngconf, there were 800 people, but was dark. You see only the first 2 lines. I remember I was on stage. After 5 minutes, I a little bit calmed down. Oh, by the way, just arrived shy. So when I say shy, please join us. When I see shy, I pretty much just start laughing.
Oh, it's live?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't
careful to the
understand.
to the cable.
Oh, it's live. Oh, wow. Didn't understand. Okay. Okay.
Nice.
Hey.
Where's the beer?
Hey.
So, in the end, try your talk twice before going.
Don't listen to Leo.
Yeah. Actually, when you have 15 people on stage, if only one is leaving, then it's a lot, and you focus on this. When it's 200, if one leaves, it's okay.
Now they have headphones, so they could be listening to music or whatever. You don't know what they're doing.
Oh, exactly. It's like maybe you just act the headphones and they're just like streaming some Netflix
Right?
stuff.
Yeah, they have Netflix on.
But-
You know
but-
your talk sucks when they're leaving and they're shredding the notes. You know you've just dive bombed it.
But I'm curious, like even if you have a lot of people in the audience, don't you guys look at their faces? For me, it's always very interesting to look at how people react because it's always like it's like a barometer. It gives me a back the feeling of like, are they getting it? Are they not? And then if then I figure, okay, something's wrong either with the tempo or with something that I'm doing. So then I kind of readjust.
It's always nice when there is someone in the audience that is looking like,
Yeah.
like really, yeah. And you're just like,
Taking notes.
there is, I love you. I'm gonna just keep talking to you.
Probably have a condition or something like that.
No, but here in Amsterdam, when they're doing this, that doesn't mean they're actually listening. They could be really jamming to some music,
True, yeah.
you know, partying in their own head. There is no guarantee they're paying attention. Like, excuse me, do you know what I'm saying? Boxer shorts? Sure.
Oh my god. Yeah, yesterday night, I don't know if I should say that. Yesterday night I was walking on the street.
Yeah. It's like Vegas, you know, what happens in...
I just saw yesterday night a lot of people laughing in the street. I was asking to myself, why people are laughing?
It's a happy city.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did see someone in a coffee shop across the street.
Oh, wait. In
Pass
the
out
coffee
on-
shop, they make coffee?
Are we allowed
Yeah,
to say
sure.
this?
No, they passed out, and an emergency thing was taking
Oh, yeah.
them away. No, seriously, like there were 4 or 5 cops and a whole ambulance, and it was serious.
Oh, yeah, I remember
Maybe you
that.
should explain the term coffee.
But you know, it totally interrupted our hummus and our baba ganoush meal.
Of course,
But we were worried.
I hate it.
What's that? You hate it when that happens?
Yeah, when someone interrupt my hummus.
Okay, so I said it wrong. Sorry.
It's actually pretty hard for me because one of my goals in my life, I have a very high standard goal in my life. And one of that is drink the best coffee in every city in the world. Very high level standard. Anyway, going to the city, just the first thing I ask is like, what is the best coffee shop in the city? But when I get in Amsterdam, I was
This
like,
is PG.
where I can get good coffee.
Exactly.
So, you know, coffee place.
Oh, you mean coffee? Ah, okay.
Cappuccino.
Yeah.
Tiramisu.
Yeah. Right.
How did we get here?
That was responsible.
Yeah.
I got it. There was a truth to that. It was pretty funny.
How you observe that?
How do I observe that?
Yeah, do you use observable for
It
that?
looks like we're kissing now.
But we're not. We're not.
You're like, this is not, what's that game where they Twister? This is not Twister, guys. You know, it's the bottle
Yeah,
thing.
spin the bottle.
You know, like where you put your left hand on
Isn't
the
that for
yellow
children?
circle and.
Oh, yeah. What people see.
They
They see me.
Yes.
Hello. People. Hello. Internet. Okay.
So you're giving a talk too, aren't you?
I'm not. No.
I thought you already were.
I'm just
I thought you
making
were.
sure people are on stage.
Oh,
on
I
time.
thought I heard a rumor that you were going to be presenting.
Here.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I can talk. Sure. I'll do a talk right now. I'll
Okay.
talk about mocha.
Go for it.
Along.
Are you going to come in and join us?
Is it mocha or it's like the coffee shop thing? So mocha was actually the original name for JavaScript before they settled on that name. That's why the framework is also called mocha. Really?
Oh,
Really?
I didn't know.
You years ago?
Yes.
I'm here. I'm one of the organizers, like Joshua, actually. Been very busy with this conference. Great. Super awesome.
So how much did you?
Tell us.
Kind of, oh, yeah. Well, sure. Yeah, let's throw it out there.
From you from
The
bus,
version
by
that
the way.
we can podcast, yeah.
Yeah,
Can you see what he's drinking?
yeah. But I need those vitamins really badly.
Is that
because-
about you?
Yeah.
Well, I will just explain. Yeah, yesterday we had the pre-party and it was awesome, but it wasn't even that late that we left. But this hotel woke up and there was this weed smell all over the place. I cannot sleep here, man.
Coffee smell.
Sorry,
Yeah.
coffee. All right.
Oh, you should come live in San Francisco. It's a location of. Remember the first year. Wait.
Finish my. At 2:00.
Was it-
Yeah, what's cool.
Maybe he has a dog. Hey, this is live again. Okay.
You just missed a song.
Yeah, everyone was singing. Sorry about that. The network is, yeah, actually people are hitting and probably surfing on their laptop and stuff at the same time. So it happens. So what were we talking about? Oh yeah, sorry.
Ability to stay on track with the conversation.
Right. Something that I can't. I mean,
It's hard.
it's really hard.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna talk about rendering in Angular 2, and the way I come out to this idea was like 3 months ago, where me and Matthias we were sharing a Greek dinner. Or maybe it was not Greek, maybe it was Mexican. I don't know, I don't remember. And Matthias was like, "Oh, let's go to Amsterdam." I was like, "Okay," and he said, "Okay." He said, "I'm gonna bring a talk. You should bring a talk too." I was like, "Dude, I have nothing to say. I'm focusing only on my company, and I don't have time to do something else." He said, "What if we find something that your company needs, and we kind of like figuring out how to do it in Angular 2?" And I was like, "Yeah, my company right now needs after we finish the web, making the web available also on after we finish the migration from Angular 1 to Angular 2, running also on desktop." And he said, "That's great. There is an internal part where there is the rendering, the render class, where you can." Hypothetically, you can actually render on from a desktop application by using Electron. I was like, okay. So we start to kind of like find all the right people that have this knowledge. Like Tobias wrote the render class and asked around to Rob. What is Rob?
He left.
He left.
Yeah.
Because Rob made the first version of the plugin for Electron to Angular 2. And after we just kind of like start iterating, and we found actually that thing is useful for my company, and it was enjoying experimenting for write his new article, and that's the way actually we come out with the idea. Suddenly, it's not here because he did most of the job to come out with the experiment. I did more the job to actually use the experiment. But that's actually the interesting part, because for my talk is focused to me that kind of like represent the real industry, try to use something that is not official yet of Angular 2, is still internal, and kind of like pushing someone in the core team to make it useful for the industry. So that is kind of like, that's actually the way I always try to figure out if I have to speak about something, I have to use it every day. Otherwise, the talk is just going to be kind of like, it's going to die after a few hours. Mm-hmm. So how you choose your talk?
Yeah, so mine was on how to write a library for Angular 2. And it's something that I really love about open source. I want people to participate to this wonderful project, which is Angular 2. And I think that the best way to do that is to start working on your libraries. You have, even if it's beta, you can start working, and most of the code of your library is not Angular related, probably. So yeah, this was something that I wanted to do for myself, and I said, hey, I can share it with everyone. So that's how I chose this topic.
We should all say,
I think you were actually one of the first people, right, to write an NG2 library.
Yeah, we were Nathan Walker, which was on Angular Air a few weeks ago. Yeah.
You write an Angular 2 library. Can you also make the JavaScript version? Please.
You mean code it in ES5 or 6?
5.
Yeah.
6 is not supported yet in Webpack.
Well,
6 and compile it down. Yeah. The code's leaner and it's easier to manage in 6.
I do. My code is in partially 6 because I use import, but I don't know why when I use Angular 5. When I use Angular.
Maybe that's why.
No. I actually use the syntax of the Angular 6, but I don't use the syntax of Angular for Angular 6. I don't know why when I try to use it for ECMAScript 6, it just doesn't work with Webpack. The import doesn't work. So I have to use the ECMAScript 5 version, the UMD version, down in JavaScript, so I can put that on the global way. For example, one problem I have with Webpack is usually with Webpack, I put all my library in a configuration set, so they are built on as a vendor after I have my main script. And usually I just do import Angular from Angular, and I just use that. The problem is when you do that with also Angular 2, doesn't work because Angular 2 doesn't find Angular on the global scope on window. So I have to put Angular 2 and Angular 1 outside Webpack and load it as you classic do it. So they both live on the window, so you can access the Angular object on the window and the ng object on the window. Yeah. So you can do ng.core.component or .view. So the main point is, for now, yeah.
I think that's important. I don't know as much about Webpack
I mean,
as I should.
If I can do it also with the ECMAScript 6, I would love that. I would love someone write an article about it, so I can.
I am certain you can do Webpack with ES6.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, so,
I'm using it in production.
yeah. So you just have to set some of the flags right, especially if you want to use these.
So you say that you're going to write a blog post about it?
I'm saying I'm not going to write a blog post about that. I'm too busy.
Yeah, it can work. If the library,
Would you like to write a blog post about it? Awesome.
I didn't find the documentation or an article or something was explaining it, so I make it work with ECMAScript 5. You know, when you work in a company, you have deadlines, you have features to build, and if things they don't work after an hour and it works in another way, you just go to the other way. But I'm really happy to see fun.
I think you're doing it the hard way, doing Angular 2 in ES5 right now, because that's the least documented.
I know, and
part
in
of
fact, I'm super pro to using ECMAScript 6 when I get it working.
Actually, the question I have is if you're going to do any sort of Angular 2 work, why aren't you just doing a TypeScript?
Because when you have a monolithic app wrote in JavaScript, it's very stressful doing the migration in TypeScript, because especially when you have to learn a new language and you have to learn how all the side effect to actually do the typing system, like the typing, when you have to import a third-party library, you have to.
How big is your monolithic existing JavaScript?
Not too much. I mean, it's probably like, I don't know how many megabytes, but it's too much to restart from scratch. It's going to take me at least another 2 months. And we are already close to ship.
So why don't you encapsulate that as an external library? And then, because really the TypeScript compiler is going to give you so many extra features. Time checking, and soon there's going to be, we talked about it last night, the bundling, the parsing.
Do you ever thought to put the situation where you're going to, as a startup company, you have to hire a new developer, you say, oh, we need a TypeScript.
Sure, I have actually answered that.
Yeah.
That actually is probably the best way to get new developers, because they want to be working on cutting edge. They want to be doing stuff that's going to be relevant in 2 years. They want to develop a skill set that makes them in a high demand. The best thing you could do.
I don't know. I don't know if it's the right thing in San Francisco. It's so hard to hire new people in San Francisco, and if you try to.
I guarantee you, if you're doing ES5 now.
No, we are. I mean, we are doing ES6. But
if you're doing ES6, okay, you're staying relatively.
Yeah,
current, right?
yeah.
I mean, it's great. I love ES6, but if you're doing Angular and you're not really leveraging skills with TypeScript, in a year you're going to look back and go, "Crap, we got a lot of catching up to do." That's the reality.
So actually, in TypeScript 1.8, you can import JavaScript. You don't have to write them in TypeScript. Just import them as JavaScript files, and it works.
Like the external libraries.
Yeah. So yeah, in TypeScript 1.8, but you need Angular 2 beta 7, which is not released yet. Or maybe it's supposed to be released today.
What is it about the beta, the latest beta that does that? What is it doing different?
Yeah. So there was a problem with something that changed in TypeScript, and they were exporting 2 times the same thing in Angular 2. It was just throwing an error with 1.7, and now it should be working with 1.8. So
it was a compiler issue?
Yeah. Well, actually, it's an Angular 2 issue.
Oh, okay.
Because the compiler is now more strict.
The other thing is also like, I'm already like, I mean, as a personal thing, I'm already kind of like moving from the 5 to the 6, so learning all the new thing and kind of like get used to replace the old stuff with. I mean, I didn't start using generator yet in HTML 6. I used to use it all the time in Python, and I'm excited to all these new things already coming in 6 and doing another jump to going to another language. It's not another language, but extended language as a TypeScript. I feel it's too much pressure, and plus have like a project that I have to release in a few weeks. I don't know. For my personal case, I felt it was too much pressure. Also learn another framework. So it's like you have to learn HTML 6, you have to learn TypeScript, you have to learn Angular 2. You have to also focus in on hitting your deadline.
Mhm.
I don't know. I believe that I try to remove at least 2 things and focus on learning more HTML 6 and Angular 2. When this thing I'm getting more confident, I can okay, maybe I can also focus on TypeScript now.
Yeah.
But doing all together, I feel it's just too much, too overwhelming.
But now you spend more time on Webpack and stuff like that because it doesn't work.
Actually, I said after 10 minutes, I try 1 hour, after when it doesn't work, in 10 minutes I get it working.
Okay.
The point is we have a great community. And on work, make an issue as someone else, they kind of help me make it better. So
we don't support that. I'm sorry, I'm not helping you, Leonardo. You're on your own, dude.
Please help me to
answer the door. He's asking
help me start using ECMAScript 6. Please help me. I ask it so hard.
If you're using ES6, you're halfway to TypeScript already. That's kind of TypeScript is ES6 plus some stuff.
Just rename.
Someone actually asked me this question: if you're using ES6 with Angular 2, why are not you just using the TypeScript compiler? Because that's the better documented solution. You don't have to use the types; you just use the ES6 stuff.
Yeah, but what about if you?
One reason you should use TypeScript: privates. There's a way that you can do privates in ES6. It's a hack, or it's really painful. But the fact that you can have real privates and the compiler time errors is huge, because you could define APIs where you know they're public or they're private. And the other thing, interfaces.
Interfaces.
That's another. That's huge, right? So those two, C++ or C++.
Yeah, my point is learning curve has to be gradually on steps.
Yeah.
And not force the hands to just.
I agree with that.
What I'm saying is I'm agree also with you to actually the TypeScript has a lot of great functionality, but as to the learning thing and the changing project to changing language, whatever, has to do gradually, so everything moves organically as move.
Yeah.
But if you write JavaScript, you just rename the file to .ts and it's TypeScript. You don't have to use anything else. You can just write JavaScript.
There is a lot of tooling that you need to kind of figure out, which is the typings that you now need for the ES6 polyfills and stuff. And until they kind of wrap it all up into the Angular CLI and make the first experience smooth with all those external typing files and the compiler and everything, there's quite many things that we now have in the quick start, for example, on Angular IO, that you need to kind of figure out when you're getting started, because there's no integrated solution for this. So if someone might want to, for that reason, when they just want to learn what's new in Angular 2, try to skip all that and just try to do it in ES5 or ES6, which they already know.
Yeah.
What you highlighted is the main pain point with Angular 2 right now.
Yeah.
Is not the language,
It's not.
and not the compiler. It's really, and Igor and the team is very aware of this, right? I mean, they're working on it actively.
Yeah.
So I'm acting like I don't want it to sound like I'm undermining their efforts, because it's great. They acknowledge that the tooling needs to get better.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It needs the error reporting and giving some indication of what's wrong instead of an error message is really hard to reverse track. The bundling, the typing, so not just code hinting and all that, but a whole bunch of things. So this is when it's going to become a very rich environment. So now we have Angular 2 beta. We have compiler tools and tooling that's coming soon.
Yeah.
I think by the end of the year, it's going to be an amazing ecosystem. Really.
It is. Yeah. And this complaint about the tools, if you listen to the React community, it's all over there. They are now complaining that there are too many things you have to learn to get started with React. So this is, in general, what we have a problem with in the JavaScript community right now. And if they're going to have an integrated tool with Angular CLI that fixes for Angular, that's like a really strong selling point for the framework as well, because I don't think, well, Ember has one, but most of the others don't, I think.
Yeah, it's improving. So you can write libraries, and they compile to JS. If you watch my talk, you will see it works on all setups. It was hard to implement all the things that you need because you have to remove some files or to ignore them, not publish them on npm. You don't want to send the TypeScript files because then the compiler will use them instead of JS files. You have to use the typings if someone is using TypeScript and he wants auto-completions. So yeah,
you're going to pair with him to help solve all these
yeah,
problems?
I can.
think that'd be
Just
really nice.
we'll see if you want. If you have
I will
some
admit,
time.
So I'm giving
I'm always-
a lot of grief, right, about this. Now let me also admit, put out some dirty laundry up, right? Material Start is a repository for using Angular material, and Material Start has an ES5 version, an ES5 tutorial. It has an ES6 version branch with JSP. Does not have a TypeScript branch. So even though I've been giving you lots of grief, I've yet to do that too, right? So that's coming soon. But you're right. ES6 is nice. It's an easy way to jump in.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
It's a great thing.
So Todd is here as well. Say hi, Todd.
I've been hiding. Hello. I was going to get my little character for my talk.
Yeah.
I think he's right. Jelly. Can you go?
Not at the. He's still focused on stuff, and he was at the party yesterday, right?
I attended late. Yeah.
He doesn't remember.
I remember. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah. Whoever's watching's missing out on a good conference, by the way. So,
Yeah, the venue is awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
If you're watching on Twitter the NGNL 2016 hashtag, you can find some pictures, and they have this really cool I don't know, festival theme. Yeah. And there is a live a band that is singing between talks. Yeah. No, not Snoop Dogg, but yeah, we have this headset for listening to the talks, so you can just hang around and you don't disturb people if you talk with someone else at the same time. So that's nice, and lots of food, which we haven't seen much because we're talking. But yeah,
the best
that's
thing about
nice.
coming here to Amsterdam is riding in the crazy bicycle scenes.
Yeah.
The bike riding here is awesome. Take it your own life in your own hands.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it, especially riding at night when it's 25 degrees and you have the hats on and you're zooming along the streets. It's actually really fun.
Are you talking about the Fahrenheit or
Yeah,
Celsius?
Fahrenheit. That's what I wanted to say.
I'm Fahrenheit, 25 degrees
I'm a
Fahrenheit.
Celsius guy.
Oh, so
You are
sorry.
not in Europe.
What is that? Is that minus 10?
No, is that kind of like it's one? It's
Minus-
1 degree, 0 degree. That was the temperature last night.
Yeah.
No, it was more than that. It was 25 degrees. So that's what is 25 in Fahrenheit? Is it 1? Minus 1?
Something like that.
Okay,
because
so I can't tell. I can't convert. Sorry,
yeah,
guys.
zero Fahrenheit is minus 19 something Celsius.
Okay.
Yeah, the interesting thing about people biking is, be careful when you walk and you text because they just think.
Do that.
That's
Yeah.
the thing.
I
Cycling here is
always
not
do
that
that.
dangerous. It's being a tourist and walking
Yeah,
across the
exactly.
street.
The thing is, like, I was walking in the street and there were no one walking, just biking. I feel like bad, kind of like. I was like, why? No one walks here.
And you can hear, like, from the way they ring the bells, that they're actually angry. There's like a tone to that, the way they ring them.
Did you guys hear about the death penalty?
Hello.
He's gonna replace Carmen.
Yeah. This is for Todd.
Still your best friend.
Yeah. For the keynote, I guess.
Yeah, that's a
Whoop.
fun surprise at the end.
The surprise is kind of gone now, I guess.
You don't know what he does yet.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We don't. Do you want to tell us what it does? It doesn't speak.
No, he doesn't speak.
Co-host.
You'll have to watch the video. I can't give it away. I'm sorry.
And so I can't watch the talk I just have to watch the video.
Oh yeah, you can watch the talk.
Cool. Thanks.
So basically, his name is Jerry, wherever he is over there, and he's struggling in the community at the moment. There's too much for him to learn. Doesn't know what to do, and then partway through the talk, he actually arrives at NGNL, which is why we've got a cut out of him. So yeah, well, I'll leave it at that. But.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're gonna have to watch the video if you want.
Yeah, everyone can watch
Yeah.
the video.
Did you ship that from London?
No.
Did you went there with on the plane?
Yeah. So yeah, the venue is awesome. The talks as well.
I think we already learned our big lesson this year as well.
Which is never have a party the day before the conference.
I
Do
told
it
you.
today.
You guys are all hurting. I didn't go to this party.
It
I
it
should
was a,
have gone.
it was a fun party, but you know, just one day early. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, we have a party tonight for the speakers.
Another one.
One thing that I used to be in the Python community for many years, and I love when conference they get to multiple days. But here in the Angular community, I don't. Tell me I'm wrong. There is not conference yet that is multiple days, right?
Angular Connect and
Angular Connect did the 2 days.
Yes.
You?
NGConf as well.
Yeah, I missed that one.
Actually, yeah, it's 2 days.
NGConf is 2 days.
And NG
3 days.
NG Europe
Yeah.
was 2 days as well.
And
So why and NG
NL?
NGNL? I always say it.
This is bad.
Sorry, because I think
Very carefully.
NGLG. I don't know why. I just make like a dream, like rap, you know. NGLG.
Why is it
If
one
you
day?
say NGNL too fast,
Oh.
you have to be very careful.
Yeah.
So why, guys? Next year it's 2 days.
I don't know. Why is it?
Sorry, what's the question?
Why is it 1 day and not 2 days?
It is 2 days. So it's University Day. Which
No, but
was
that
so
doesn't
yesterday.
count because NGConf has a university.
Ah,
day
okay,
too,
fair
so-
enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think University Day
well,
counts.
I would say
I'll be
university
more
day,
honest
but
then.
This year, to me, they have enough. I mean, there's enough people super excited. Like
Yeah.
next year, I'm hoping to have come to a
No,
2-day track.
we completely should. We actually wanted to do it this year, but we started a bit late, so we were already
It's a
very.
lot of work, isn't it?
It's a
Yeah.
lot more work than I expected it to be. Yeah. Pleased with how it worked out though. But yeah, next year, I think it'll be 2 days. Yeah.
Awesome.
Make it happen.
Cool.
Bigger sponsor.
Are
Are you listening? Sponsor, bigger. Okay.
Thanks for.
Yeah, I guess tickets cost more as well if it's 2 days.
That's the problem. We want to make it as cheap and accessible as possible for the community, for people to actually show up, learn, and not only have people whose company can sponsor it show up.
Then you sell 1-day tickets.
Yeah.
Think. Oh yes, actually, that's great. It's kind of like a festival feel. You get 1-day tickets.
Right.
You go to see your favorite band.
And then we should
And-
get like wristbands if you have multi-day tickets.
Yeah, you can have a VIP tickets. You can have a dinner with someone of the core team. I don't know.
And I'll really make next to the festival next year.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, but if you can make it happen, that'd be pretty awesome. So, are you saying Snoop Dogg's going to be here next year?
You've heard it here first, but yeah.
Or who do we?
I mean, think about Snoop Dogg.
Actually,
is
I vote for-
startup world
I
right
vote for
now.
Kevin Hart. Bring Kevin Hart here. That'd be darn good.
Is there any singer from Amsterdam? Any international singer from Netherlands?
No, we import them. we don't. I don't know.
Oh, so you don't use Require?
No, not yet.
That was really
It's
good.
TypeScript.
That was really fast.
From the 90s.
Yeah.
We're always Dutch.
That's true. Vanilla Ice.
Like the ABBA days.
Exactly. Too unlimited.
So I guess that we're gonna wrap up because it's almost time for the next
The
talks.
next keynote is starting in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the next keynote. So
Yeah, we gotta go.
yeah. So thank you everyone for watching. Next week is I don't know what's it.
I don't know.
Man, we suck.
We suck.
Sorry. Check on the website.
That's awesome. You guys don't suck.
Sorry, we really unprepared this week.
We're
But
sorry. We drank too many.
yeah, we we want to thank the sponsors as well, Angular Class, which is sponsoring Angular Air. And yeah, see you next week then. Bye.